Hello artists. Today I'm going to go over how to start a Mexican Amate inspired artwork. So hopefully we've discussed and even looked at some Amates, such a fun word to say, and we'll have talked about how they are usually birds and they're usually from books, old books. And so, or excuse me, not books, bark, on old bark, like tree bark. And so I suggest doing this artwork on a brown piece of paper to make it look more like tree bark. So I'm gonna go ahead and start one here. And one thing you can do right away to make it look more like tree bark is to gently, because you don't want to waste it or rip it, squish it up. Oh my gosh, I just ripped this one. Well, I'm gonna make it a beautiful oops. And then gently open it back up again. Oh, I'll just have to put a little piece of tape on the back of that. Good as new. So that helps it make it look a little more old. And one thing I do want to talk about though is, I'm gonna do a bird. You could do something different, but where to put it. If I just put a small bird in the middle of my picture, one, that won't be much fun to paint. It'll be really hard because it'll be so tiny. And two, the entire paper is your artwork. So that means that leaving all of this is a choice and part of it. Usually most art does not look very good if you just have a central piece. So use the space, fill it. Okay, so please draw with a pencil first. If I sit here and draw with a pencil, you're not going to be able to see it. So I'm going to skip that step, but you should definitely do it with a pencil. Once you have it done with the pencil, you're going to trace all of your lines with an oil pastel. So I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do. That's why it's good to do with pencil. I like to make diamonds, shapes for beaks though. Remember that for a bird, their beak is their nose and their mouth. All right, so I kind of made mine really designy. I did that on purpose, as far as you know. But I can add on to it. For instance, on the example one that I showed you, I made the tail really elaborate to start filling in space. But it doesn't have to be. Maybe I just have a simple tail going on. And it really helps to look up other Amates, for example, or pictures of abstract birds, or it doesn't have to be abstract. But I'm gonna pretend that this one wants to land on a flower branch, or a branch full of flowers, but I'll do the flowers first. Some flowers can be like that. You could have different styles of flowers. Maybe they're just blobs that come together, which is, I guess, more natural for flowers that are on trees. They'll look more like flowers when you color them. And so this is going to be a project that you could do anytime, except for the fact that I'm going to take out fluorescent paints and give you that example in your next art class. So I'm not worried about painting it in today. What you really should do is spend your time working with a pencil. And then I also want to make a border. Now on this one I made a wavy line, but it doesn't have to be. You know, it could be any type of border. I'm going to do straight lines just for some contrast on this guy. And tomorrow I will start painting this in, but I am going to leave the negative space just to be brown to represent the bark. So if there's something else you want to add, then please do it. If you're like, ooh, but that corner really needs something. I kind of like what's happening right here, so I'm going to leave it. But think about it, because the whole artwork, once again, is your masterpiece. So I'm excited to see what you make today. Happy arting, students.